Introduction: name Muhammad Hussain, father name Mulazim Hussain, surname Abdo, roll number 2K20, BBA 34, department business, bachelor administration. Today we are going to discuss about three topics: Two Nation Theory, 14 points of Qaid-e-Azam, Aligarh movement. We are first going to discuss Two Nation Theory. What is Two Nation Theory? The Two Nation Theory is the basis of creation of Pakistan. According to this theory, Muslim and Hindus are two separate nations by definition. Muslims have their own custom, religion and tradition, and from social and moral points of view, Muslims are different from Hindus, and therefore Muslims should be able to have their own separate homeland in which Islam is a dominant religion, being segregated from Hindus. The Two Nation Theory advocated by the All India Muslim League is the founding principle of the Pakistan movement. The ideology of Pakistan is a Muslim nation state in the northwestern and eastern region of India. Through the partition of India in 1947, there are varying interpretations of the Two Nation Theory based on whether the two populated nationalities can coexist in one territory or not, with radically different implication. One interpretation argued from sovereign autonomy include the right the secede of for Muslim minority areas of colonial India. But without any transfer of population, Hindu and Muslims would continue to live together. I am going to my next slide. A different interpretation contains the Hindus and Muslims constitute the two distinct and frequently agnotism with of life, and therefore they can't coexist in one nation. In this version of transfer of population, the total removal of Hindus and from Hindus, Muslims majority areas, and the total removal of Muslim from Hindus minority areas is the desirable step toward a complete separation of two incompatible nations that can consist in harmonious relationship. Opposition to the Two Nation Theory came from both nationalism, Muslim and Hindus, being based on two concepts. The first is the concept of a single Indian nation, of which Hindus and Muslims are two intertwined communities. The second source of opposition is the concept that while Indians are not one nation, neither are the Muslims or Hindus of India, and it is an indistinct true nation and deserving of sovereignty. This view has been presented by the Baloch, Sindhi, Bengali and Pashtun sub-nationalities of Pakistan, with Bengalis seceding from Pakistan after the Bangladesh Liberation War in 1971, and other separatist movements in Pakistan are currently in place. The state of India officially rejected the Two Nation Theory and closed it to be a secular state. Ensuring the concept of religion, pluralism and composite nationalism in its constitution, however, in response to help SEPA. I am going to my next slide. Now this is Aligarh movement. What is Aligarh movement? The Aligarh movement was the push to establish a modern system of education for Muslims population of British India during the later decades of the 9th century. The movement's name derives from the fact that its core and origins lay in the city of Aligarh in northern India, and in particular with the foundation of the Muslim Anglo-Oriental College. In 1875, the founder of Oriental College and the other education institution that developed from it was Sir Syed Ahmed Khan Education Institution. Sir Syed Ahmed Khan. He became the leading light of the wider Aligarh movement. The educational reform established a base and impacts from the wider movement in India. Muslims renounced that had a profound implication from the religion, the politics, the culture and society of the Indian subcontinent. One of indirect questions of awakening is the nation that without this revival of Muslim self-consciousness and self-confidence directly attributable to the movement, there could or would have been not Pakistan movement in the run up to Indian independence. Education. Aligarh Muslim University is the creation of the movement. The Aligarh movement had a profound impact on the India society, particularly on the Muslim society compared to the other powerful but less adaptable movements of 9th century. It influenced a number of other contemporary movements to a great extent that is caused immigrants of other religious movements during the 9th century. The impact of Aligarh movement was not confined to northern India only, but its expansion could be seen on the other regions of Indian subcontinent during the 20th century. The Aligarh movement has made a weighty and a lasting contribution to the political impaction of Indian Muslims. The Aligarh movement has made a weighty the Indian the Deoband school was opposed to the movement as Aligarh movement. The Aligarh movement introduced a new trend in Urdu literature. Sir Sayyid Ahmad Khan and his association left the old style of writing in Urdu language, which was rhetorical and academic, and started a simple style which helped the Muslims to understand the main purpose of movement. Sir Sayyid Ahmad was the central figure behind this awakening. Now this is our last topic, 14 points of Jinnah. The 14 points of Jinnah were proposed by Muhammad Ali Jinnah as a continuational reform plan to safeguard the political rights of Muslims in a self-governing India. In 1928, an all-parties conference was convened to solve the constitutional problem of India. A committee was set up under Motilal Nehru. The committee prepared a report which is known as Nehru Report. This report demands division status for India. Separate electorates were refused and revision of seats for the Muslims of Bengal and Punjab was rejected. In this report, not a single demand of the Muslims was upheld. Since Nehru report was the last word from Hindus, therefore Mr. Jinnah was authorized to draft in accordance from the basis of any future constitution that was to be devised for India. Jinnah's aim was to get rights from Muslims. He therefore gave his 14 points. The 14 points convert all of the intents of Muslim at the headed time, and in this Jinnah stated that it was the parting of way and he did not would not have anything to do with the Indian National Congress in the future. The language leaders motivated Jinnah to revive the Muslim language and give it direction. As a result, these points become the demands of Muslims and repeatedly influenced the Muslims' thinking for next 2 decades till the implosion of Pakistan in 1947. Now, 14 points. First, the form of future constitution should be filled with the regional powers vested in the province. Second number, a uniform measure of autonomy shall be granted to the province. Third number, all registration in the country and other elected bodies shall be constituted on the definite principle of adequate and effective representation of minorities in every province without reducing the minority in any province to minority of even equality. Fourth number, in central literature, Muslims representation shall not be less 1/3. 5 number, representation of communal groups shall continue to be by means of separate electorate as a present, provided it shall open to any committee at any time to abandon its separate electorate in favor of a joint electorate. Sixth number, the territorial distribution that might at any time necessary shall not in any way affect the Muslims minority. Seventh number, the religious liberty is the liberty of belief, worship and observance, propaganda, association, and education shall be granted to the all committees. 8 number, no bill or resolution or any part there shall be passed in any legislature or any other elected but if three-fourths of the members of any community in the particular bodies oppose it as being injurious to the interest of community. 9 number, sin should be separate from the Bombay presidency. 10 number, reforms should be introduced in the northwestern Frontier province and Balochistan on the same footing as the other province. 11 number, Muslims should be given a docket share along with the other Indians in all services of state. 12 number, the constitution should embody a docket safeguard for the protection of Muslims culture and for the protection and promotion of Muslims education, language, religion, personal laws and Muslims charitable. 13 number, no candidate either central or provincial should be performed without there being a proportion of at least one-third Muslims minorities. And this is 14 and last, no change shall be made in the constitution by the central legislature except with the concurrence of the state constituting the Indian Federation.